Good afternoon and welcome into game number 2, day 2 of the Riverton Holiday Tournament on KSLSports.com. We've got the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs taking on Granite Bay Grizzlies out of California. Pleasant good afternoon to you. Trevor Allen alongside Ben Lindquist, the general manager of the Fan Sports Network. Just happens to have a little bit of a rooting interest for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs, but all in all, a great analyst, former Oregon Duck as well. And so, Ben, it's good to have you here. Thanks for making the trek up.
Hey, I'm here to call the game with you, buddy. That's the interest. It feels like just yesterday, but I think it was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. We were at the Sky Ridge event and saw some great basketball for 3 days there. And excited to be here in Riverton tonight, which is a great tournament. You know, every year they do such a good job, and I love calling high school basketball. High school sports is just so much fun. I love what these guys bring to the court, and so I'm ready to get down. Let's do it.
Yeah, and for this Crimson Cliffs team, they're playing very good basketball right now, coming off of wins at Pineview and beating Dixie in region play. They're off to a 3-0 start in Region 9, which we know is very difficult.
Oh, my goodness. And that region this year, extremely difficult. And to be 3-0, they're certainly happy. I think, you know, we kind of talked when we called those first couple of games that if they could get out of there, they could get out of there with a split maybe, that they would be in good shape. But to come out of there 3-0 in that region with teams like Dixie, Pineview, and even an upstart in Hurricane, this should be a great matchup. You called their game just the other day.
Yeah, so Granite Bay came into Utah a little early, ended up playing a game at Westlake, the number 1 team in 6A right now, and I would say number 2 in the entire state. And ended up playing them for the second time. They ended up playing them once on their home floor in a tournament in Sacramento, and only lost by 5. But the Thunder lit up the nets, 87 points.
Wow.
And Granite Bay just couldn't do anything about it. They do have some solid talent, but I actually think Crimson matches up better. But still, Utah basketball has gotten significantly better over the last few years.
Well, and I've been saying that for a long time. It doesn't get the credit it deserves. The fundamentals, the good coaching, the great athletes. You know, you're starting to see it more and more in football, and I think basketball is right behind it, where the state's going to finally start to get some credit.
All right. So, what are some of the things you're looking for? I mean, I know it's difficult for coaches to play teams that are out of state because they end up starting seasons a little bit different than when we do here in Utah. And
right.
You know, trying to get film on that, it's a little bit different as opposed to Huddle, where you've got, you know, really good connections with all the coaches here that if they don't answer back to you on Huddle, you can just shoot them a text.
Yeah, right. No, I actually watched a few games of this Granite Valley, and what I think you're going to see from them is athleticism and physicality. They've got a little bit of size, but not, you know, like 6 inches above. We're talking an inch or two height advantage on their end. But I think it's the physicality, and then I think you always get a little bit of swagger. These teams out of California, they love to shoot it, and they like to get up and down, and that's going to match up well against Crimson because they like to get up and down as well.
And the Mustangs open up with winning the tip, and they're in the home white uniforms. Granite Bay in the black uniforms trying to go down is number 1 at Sands Reed, trying to go into the post, but it's deflected. Really good defense there by the Grizzlies.
The other hard thing is, you know, both of these teams, we just had Christmas, and so, you know, they haven't got their regular practice schedules in. Maybe a day or two in between just to practice for this game for Crimson.
Here's Ryan Polich. Now to Turner. Now to Hillman. I like his game. He is he's a physical beast.
Yeah, you can see his athletic frame.
Keegan Ladinas can't get that one to go. Wide open on the wing is number 3. That's Will Hokinson. And it's out of bounds. It'll be Granite Bay basketball.
And so far, both teams got a good look on both ends of the floor. You know, this is kind of the filling out part of the game, and Crimson's going to pick them up full court here. I think you're going to see, you know, especially midseason, teams are still going to be doing some different defenses, maybe mixing in some full court presses.
Yeah, and they usually throw on one too when they were against Westlake, but it was hard to slow down the three-point shooting from the Thunder, and they're just so well-rounded as a team.
Yeah, and it looks like just going to match up man here for now. You're going to see a lot of that little C-cut screen there where they bring the guy from the far side and they bring him off a hard curl, and if the guy trails, they just cut it off, and if he goes underneath, he pops for the shot.
And that's Solomon Hillman with the bucket. He actually got it going against Westlake. I think he scored their first 5 points. Here's McKay Lindquist. He goes into the lane, bucket and the foul as Polic was on his hip. Great job getting Polic on his hip.
And I think that's the other good thing is that, both of these teams have got the buckets inside the paint. And, where you haven't played a game in over a week, maybe almost 2 weeks for some of these teams. I know they played Saturday, but in state it's been at least 2 weeks. That's what you want to do early. Get to the hoop, especially in an unfamiliar gym. This is a neutral site for both of these teams. You want to make sure and get to the bucket early.
And can't complete the three-point play is Lindquist. He is one of the top scorers in all of 4A. He's in the top 20 in points and points per game and taken away by Reed. One-on-one. He'll lay it up and in. Good start there for Sands Reed.
And Sands Reed is just an animal on defense. Just active hands, great anticipation. Against that Dixie game last 2 weeks ago where they got that big win, I'll bet he had 7 or 8 deflections. And so you'll just watch him tonight. He's going to be someone you want to see that deflections and tip ball.
Ladinas to Hillman. And now a three for Polic. No good. Rebounded by Britton Phillips. And right now, Crimson Cliffs comes in number 18 in the entire state in the Deseret News rankings. And I think they're number 3 in 4A in the RPI.
Yeah, they've played some good teams. And a little bit of the old slippery juice on the ball there. But they played some good teams this year and have really, been on a little bit of a heat streak. 4 straight wins.
And Turner goes into the paint, gets the bucket and the foul. Great physical play there to get the layup in by Darnell Turner Jr.
And you can see most of this action is happening inside. Taking advantage of the athleticism on this team is going to be huge for them tonight against Crimson.
Darnell Turner Jr., he's a senior. Not a deep roster, but coach plays all of his guys. He played every single player in regular time. It wasn't like an empty the bench moment. He was subbing in a lot of guys at a time. Now here's Murdoch. Floater in the lane, no good. And Hillman collects. Tegan Ladinas, he's a quick little guard, I'll tell you that, and he's scrappy. As Hillman picks up where he left off against Westlake, he's up to 5 points early.
Yeah, you can just see he is a baller. He likes to score. He likes to play defense. He's back there on the back lines, calling out positions.
Hokinson just missed off the iron.
A little bit of quick shots so far for this Crimson team. Looks like they're not quite settled in just yet. Catch Sands Reed on the foul there, maybe. Yep. It's going to be on Will Hokinson there.
Yep, Will Hokinson picks up the personal. That's his first and the second team foul on Crimson Cliffs. And then coming in, number 13, Miles Mike Jr. He'll come in for Polic.
Well, you said they're gonna play guys early and often.
Turner backs his way in and he gets the bucket to go. So Turner and Hillman are the ones scoring all 8 points.
And you can see the physicality so far. Plus, as Lindquist able to get that to go on made buckets, they're gonna be pressing on that. See if they can get Crimson into some quick plays or bad shots.
Ladinas uses his speed to get to the rim, and he's on the scoreboard.
Here comes that full court press again. So far, Crimson's been able to handle it, but just has not been able to finish the shots.
Lindquist guarded by Mike. And they go in for a jump ball, alternating possession. It'll go to Granite Bay. Granite Bay out of the Sacramento metropolitan area.
That's a long trip.
That is a long trip. But they came in, I'm guessing, Friday.
Got it.
And then played Westlake, and then they're playing 3 games here, all Region 9 teams.
Interesting. That's one where, as the parent, you're like, oh, perfect. We're leaving sunny California for
Granite Bay is going to get a good dose of Region 9. They'll play Pineview tomorrow and Snow Canyon on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, and I think Desert Hills is up here as well. They'll play tonight at 7.
Pretty much everyone but Dixie and Cedar, I think, are up here.
Yeah, and I think they're at I'm trying to think, Steve Hodson Cancer Classic in Cedar this week.
The one in Cedar, yep.
Looks like they're going to jump out in that full court press again. 12-6, it feels closer, but I think maybe, Trevor, that's just a result of Crimson not being able to convert on these easy chip shots, and then, it's the physicality of this.
Now a 2-2-1 press. Lindquist to Hokinson. Now they set up. Guarded by Hillman. Goes into Murdoch. Guarded by Wright. Leroy can't get that one to go, and it's hit off of Murdoch, and it'll go to Granite Bay.
And maybe so far the big difference that I see is just the physicality of Granite Bay. And Crimson is looking for that foul, but Granite Bay is going up through the opponent and trying to draw that foul or make the bucket first. And sometimes, players will try and draw that foul as opposed to like, hey, finish the shot and protect the ball, but don't try and create a play that might not be there.
Exactly. Ladenas, guarded by Lindquist, comes off of a screen. Now he goes back the other way. Now to Mike in the corner for three. Can't get that one to go. Travis Leroy on the rebound. Tries to go to Phillips. If he was a little shorter, probably would get into his hands, but a turnover for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and the full. I don't know if I would say the full court press has been really effective, but sometimes it's just about slowing them down, chewing some time off the clock, and seeing if you can speed them up at the wrong times.
Now here's Camden Wright. Guarded by Lindquist. With 2:38 to go here in the first quarter. Wright put it off the glass and in. Camden Wright on the scoreboard.
And this is somewhere you just can't be that close to a guy at the volleyball line and give up a all-the-way right-hand dominant, strong possession. You got to force guys to their weak hand. Make them do things they don't want to do.
Here's Phillips. Leroy. He's guarded by Keegan Ladenas. Smallest guy on the floor, and he takes it away. Keegan, he'll get it to number 21. And that's Dane Bromfield, who just checked in. Now here's Camden Wright. Thing I notice about Granite Bay, they like to run horn sets, and they're very creative out of those sets.
A lot of movement, a lot of screens. And right now, Crimson just looks a gear slow, a step slow. And the turnovers, I think, is what's really the separation in the game right now is just turning the ball to over. I've got 4 by my count for this Crimson team.
Now to Murdoch. Good backside help there by Miles Mike. It'll stay with Crimson Cliffs, though, on the baseline.
And you can see that focus, trying to get Travis Murdoch the ball on the post. And, the other thing, too, you talk about the conditioning. A lot of these kids, I got 2 days of practice. With that Christmas break, it's just hard to kind of jump right back into it, but you got to find a way as a player.
A nice pass there on the inbounds. Good patience as Travis Leroy finishes at the rim.
And a great finish there, and you see that's the difference of going up through it and actually not trying to create the contact, but trying to finish the play first.
Coming into this game, Travis with 28 points. Now he's up to 30 on the season. Tyler Hansen. Taken away by Lindquist. Now we'll go to Phillips.
Oh, boy.
Tries to go to Leroy, hits him off the back.
And just out of sync right now. Again, the
you could tell
turnover.
That they had a long layoff. You could tell.
And that's probably a lot of the reason why, these coaches come up and play these tournaments at these little tiny breaks. Really because they're back on the moratorium starting on Wednesdays is to kind of get the cobwebs out because it's right back into the region season for these Crimson and Region 9 teams next week.
Yeah, and right after this, Granite Bay will go back to California and start their league play. Here's Mike. To Bromfield. He gets it back. He'll fire for 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. And rebounded by Easton Back, who just checked in, and Lindquist will bring it up.
I think the key is here, if they can get a bucket and just limit turnovers here in this second quarter, they can kind of dig into this lead a little bit.
Here's Back. Hokinson, 16 on the shot clock. He'll lay it up with the right hand as he gets past
Great
Turner.
Finish there. That's the one thing, though, is like I'd like to see defensively, you get a hand in the shooting pocket, but make somebody pull up and shoot it off the dribble, but as opposed to being so close. Like, that's just a great recognition of, I'm going to go right at him and score off the layup. Strong hand.
Turner kicks out to Mike. 3 seconds on the clock. Hillman, he'll fire. We'll see. They count that as a 2. His right foot was on the line, so that's a 2-pointer, but still.
That's 7 for the game for him so far.
Yeah, 7 for the game, and we'll go ahead and take a break. 16-10 lead for Granite Bay. You're watching the Riverton Holiday Tournament on KSLSports.com.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
Today's play of the day goes to Becky, a single mom who just got her son Max a youth debit card from UCCU.
This is a big win for Max, who knows that UCCU mobile banking makes it easy for his mom to add money to his debit card anytime.
It's also a big win for Becky, who knows it also makes it easy to monitor her child's spending anytime. Final score, 1 happy son, 1 responsible mom.
With the assist from UCCU.
Second quarter action about to get underway here. Game 2 of the Riverton Holiday Tournament of our quadruple header. Trevor Allen, Ben Lindquist here. And Ben, Crimson found themselves down 6 points, but not playing Crimson Cliffs basketball to this point.
Yeah, the turnovers now by 6 by our count. Just too many in a quarter. You think about, we talked about this in the Skyriders tournament. You were always thinking, how do we get 10 to 12? We'll limit it there. Well, in the first quarter when you got 6, it doesn't leave you much leeway for the rest of the game. But I think what Coach Murdoch is probably telling us, hey, guys, let's settle in. It's our ball. Let's draw up a play. I would anticipate they're going to try and run that 4 out, 1 in, get it into Travis Murdoch, try and get an easy basket here. You got Lindquist resting here at the quarter. But who knows? Granite Bay might throw a little, and they are going to throw a little bit of zone, make it a little bit difficult. I love those strategies and those game changes that coaches make.
Chess match. You love it. Murdoch, and a turnover right on cue. Keegan Ladenas, he'll go to Headley. Can't get that one to go. And now here is Hokinson. Murdoch. He'll put it up and in.
Able
Travis
to get the
Murdoch.
basket there. He's great around the hoop. That's going to be good for him to see one get in there, and maybe he can get a couple in a row now that he's seen the first one drop.
First bucket of the game for Travis as Turner comes the other way. Can't get the layup to go, and Murdoch with the rebound.
I'll say this, the refs have been really even, and they're not calling those little chippy ones. They're letting them play physical, and I think so far that's just helped Granite Bay.
Well, I know 2 of the officials are high-end officials here in the state that are usually officiating games up at the Huntsman Center as far as like state tournament, semifinal, quarterfinal, state title games.
You can tell. They're not calling those chippy kind of try and draw foul. And just like that, it's a 2-point game. Great transition basket there.
Trey
the feed
Leroy.
Up the court for Trey Leroy.
And it's a 4-0 run coming out. Ladenas puts an end to that run real quick.
And he's quick off the dribble, so I don't think this is easy, but you got to keep a guy in front of him. That's the hardest thing to do is make him make a layup or a jump shot.
And Murdoch
can make a layup.
Murdoch with
That's
another
going to be 4 for him so far in the game.
Both coming in this quarter already. And we're about nearly 2 minutes into this quarter.
But I would say you see the ease. You see the ease at which this Granite Bay team is able to get to the hoop. And I would almost say, hey, let's armbar them a little bit, little hand in the pocket, make them make the 3 before giving up so many layups.
And Wyatt Headley is on the floor after hitting the deck on a charge. Well,
and he's looking down at his
trying
wrist.
to take a charge was Travis Leroy, but they called a block on him. And now he's being attended to by the trainers.
Yeah, it looks like a good thing to see. He's getting up.
Yes.
You always, anytime you see a young man leave their feet and come down hard like that, you always kind of hold your breath. But looks like he's holding that wrist a little bit, but not his head or anything like that. Well, it looks like the wrist's okay. He's thinking, I can still shoot those, Coach. You sure? Coach says,
I can do it one-handed.
No. Now, I know the rule in the NBA, you can, and I think even college, you pick the other team picks the shooter, but
they don't do that in high school. I
just
actually thought it was in high school for a while, and then
coach picks.
So same coach. He can pick whoever he wants. Yeah,
got it. Okay.
And see, I actually thought it was the other way around too, because a couple years ago it was the same thing where they could, but now I was in a game where I was coaching and a guy gets hurt and I'm like, all right, do we get to pick? They're like, no, they do. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
When did that change?
And Pulich will come in and he'll say, I'll take a couple free ones. This is easy. I don't even have to.
I'll get on the score sheet early.
Yeah. I like it.
I didn't even have to go to the rim for that one.
Yeah, someone else had to take the fall. He's going to knock them both down.
Gets the second one to go. Goes 2 for 2 on that trip, which Coach knew would probably be the case, which is why he had him go in.
And again, they're going to pick him up in that full court press.
Yeah, and they're in that zone press. And then it looks like they're dropping back to man. Murdoch to back. Leroy. Now here's Reed. Murdoch. Lindquist wide open. Can't get that one to go too strong, and he'll get it back. See if he can redeem himself. And miss that one.
Missed it all there, Trav. I mean, you got to make one of those. Those are the most open shots he's had in 3 weeks.
And a layup on the other end by Miles
You can't
Mike.
shoot the air ball and come down and have the guy skewer the basket on you.
Leroy, I've noticed he's been more physical in this game than the one that we called a few weeks ago at the Skyridge tournament.
Yeah, he's got some great length. He's got a good knack for the ball.
C.J. Liddell on the floor, number 50. And a jump ball. It'll stay here with Granite Bay.
A lot of jump balls so far in this game.
Yeah, I think that's the second or third one of the game.
And they'll bring Britton Phillips back on for Sands Reed.
Still a 6-point deficit here for Crimson Cliffs.
And it looks like they're going to jump into a little zone themselves here. And
well, they leave Camden Wright open and
wide open.
Normally I would tell you what the stats are, but they haven't loaded any to max prep, so I come in blind with this team.
Great pocket pass there.
Lindquist, he gets the rebound. Now he'll go into the paint, foul line. It's like shooting a free throw, but jumping.
Yeah, great offensive rebound opportunity there. And again, this dribble drive penetration of Granite Bay has been really effective. They've just, I think, you look at it, it's a 4-point game, but they just got so many easy looks at the rim.
Here's Pulich. He'll go up. Good defense there. Now Murdoch will bring it up the floor to Leroy. Back to Murdoch.
Love the give and go.
And back. Thought about it. Lindquist. Here's Phillips now. With 15 on the shot clock. Nice backdoor pass to Easton Beck.
They say sometimes it's so bad it's good, and I think there Phillips almost with the travel, but the best part about that was the cutter. That's that weak side basket cut you have to do because the other defensive team will stop looking. Just cut to the hoop, young fella.
And Camden Wright able to get to the rim. That's his first bucket of the quarter.
And again, inside the paint, 4 feet from the hoop, where they've got most of their looks.
I'll tell you what, though, calling the game on Saturday against Westlake, Granite Bay is not going to kill you from downtown.
And that's where you just got to give them a little bit of space. I think you pack it in a little bit. And above all else, you got to stop basketball.
And as they actually can't shoot, but they were struggling against Westlake, but they also didn't shoot a ton.
Well, I think what we've seen tonight would support that is their strength is going to the basket and getting something inside that 8 to 10 feet. And I would say Crimson's got open looks, but just been sloppy with the basketball.
And another turnover for the Mustangs. Pulich, he'll pull from 3, gets it that one to go, and that's the first triple of the game. And it is a full timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it here since I've got Ben here with me. Message right now for Coach Murdoch is?
Well, I think, look, they look a step slow. I think the aggressor is Granite Bay right now, but the one thing is take care of the basketball and then get down here on defense and pack it in a little bit more, take away those drives. I know Pulis just had that 3, but that's wide open in a slow transition. You can't let that. You got to match up quicker, or if you're in a zone, you got to make sure that you're talking on that back line. And so I think even though you're down 9, Granite Bay is playing more physical. They're more aggressive. And they're not making anything flashy or these difficult plays. They're just going to the hoop, and if it gets stopped, they're kicking it out. And for Crimson right now, it just feels more force. So I think settle them in here. You got 3 minutes left in the second quarter, and see if you can cut into this 9-point lead and just get it. Maybe you tie it up, but I think most of all, if you can go into the locker room at down 3, that's a win.
And for Granite Bay, I mean, I would just tell them don't fix what isn't broken, right? Whatever they're going to allow, make them adjust to what you're doing, and then you make your adjustments as part of the chess match.
They've done a good job on defense, giving them some different looks. They've given up some easy baskets, but Crimson hasn't been able to capitalize. I think offensively, I don't know what I would tell them in the huddle. Hey, just keep doing that.
A lot of ball movement and solid cutting. Hokinson over to back to Lindquist now. Goes into Murdoch. The dynamic duo connects with the bucket and the foul, and they give it to him.
And again, that's a
and
great,
Headley's back in, the one who
he
took
says,
that
man,
fall.
I got my wrist, now I got my face. This is what's going on. I came all the way to Utah to get beat up like this. But that's a great job of trying to make the basket first, not draw the contact. So many times now these guys, it's like, I'm going to try and dry the foul or create contact. But as you mentioned, these officials, these are higher-end officials. They know the difference between an almost foul and a real foul, and that one was a foul.
And, to speak to how physical the game is in this state, it's funny because I did a couple of games at that Corner Canyon Tournament of Champions.
Oh, yeah.
And they had some teams from Colorado and I want to say California, but there was a Colorado parent who came up and was, talking to us after one of the games, and they're like, is it this physical in Utah all the time? And I was like, yes, sir.
You're like, yes.
Yes, it is.
Lindquist is going to eye one up there. I'll tell you what, that's 3 more open looks than he's had in the last 3 weeks, as he's been mostly face guarded for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, especially going into region play. I mean, you know what each team has in your region for years. As Phillips connects on a 3.
And now, what you wouldn't know about Britton Phillips, because he plays a lot down low, is when he sets his feet, he's one of the best three-point shooters in the state and in region. Last year, he was shooting 57% from the three-point line.
Wow. As Murdoch blocks it away, but stepped out of bounds. Good defense, though, there for Crimson Cliffs.
They've been able to get some stops, especially when they're forced into the weak hand, that left hand. Most kids just don't want to go left. They're just born to go right since they were 2 and 3. But I think when they've got them to go left, here they go right again. But you see most of this action is them to that right strong hand.
The guards are very physical dribblers, I'll just say that. They like to dribble with force, as Keegan Ladenas, he'll finish with the layup after solid defense there from Turner.
And turnover number 9 is really the story. Somehow Crimson's only down 5 with 1:30 now. If they can just kind of get a couple baskets and maybe get 1 or 2 more stops, you see this double team's coming, though. Great pass there.
Down. Too many guys left on that backside help.
And that is the one thing. When you bring a trapping defense, especially from that weak side, is it leaves a 2-on-1 on the weak side.
9 points all coming here in the second quarter for Murdoch. And now taken away, here's Phillips. As they don't have the advantage, but they do go to Murdoch. Back door. Didn't get back in time, and Easton back.
Well, I was talking about trying to cut the lead to 2 or 3, and they got it to 1 with under a minute.
Now here's Hillman. That is number 30, Dylan Billetier. Headley seems to be doing fine after hurting his wrist.
Offense will do that to you, Trev.
And he'll fire for 3. Yep, he's fine. Wyatt Headley. No injury is too much for him.
Yeah, not the shooting wrist.
And that now extends the lead to 4. With the shot clock turned off, Crimson Cliffs will have the last shot. Hokinson.
They're going to just run it down to the very bottom here with about 7 or 8 seconds.
Murdoch,
Lindquist is going to have another
wide
one.
open again. Maybe he needs to be face guarded more. As back will go up off the glass and in on the offensive board at the buzzer.
Great offensive rebound, great putback. Easton back, probably the best basket cutter on this Crimson team. And somehow they're going to go into the locker room only down 2 after 9 first-half turnovers. Pretty good battle here.
All right, we'll go ahead and take a break. Score 34-32 in favor of Granite Bay out of California. We'll be back with second half action here at the Riverton Holiday Tournament on KSLSports.com.
To dare mighty things means to embrace challenges. It means to welcome a high-energy culture that prioritizes belonging. To dare mighty things means drawing inspiration from experienced faculty and alums who encourage you to think big. It means to be a part of time-honored traditions while also forging new ones. To dare mighty things means celebrating your achievements with pride and joy, knowing you can make a difference by daring to be great. Join us at the Huntsman School of Business, where we dare mighty things. That's the Huntsman difference.
Bucket list hikes, local races, challenging adventures, that one goal that means so much to you. Salt Lake Running Company has the gear and expert advice you need to start and finish strong. You'll be crushing that goal before you know it. With our trained and knowledgeable staff, an award-winning custom shoe fit process, and the head-to-toe products you need, SLRC will gear you up for your goal. Shop in-store at any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
About to get started here with the second half. Trevor Allen, Ben Lindquist here with you, and it's a 34-32 lead for Granite Bay out of Sacramento, California. And Ben, you and I were just talking off air. You were kind of surprised that Crimson Cliffs was able to pull within 2 with how many turnovers that they've had and how easily Granite Bay has been able to score.
Yeah, you talk about those extra possessions that you lose, 9 turnovers versus 3 turnovers. That's 6 extra possessions. You got to figure that's 2 to 3 made shots, and yet it's only a 2-point ball game, and Crimson's going to have the ball coming right out here in the second half. Got to believe that was something that was talked about at halftime. Take care of the basketball.
Now here's Hokinson with the same starters out for both teams, guarded by Ladinas. Now here's Murdoch. He's looking for Phillips. Instead, he'll go out to Reed on the opposite corner. Back into Phillips. He'll put it up. Can't get that one to go. And here comes the Grizzlies.
Didn't quite pick the hoop up there, turned around. I think he expected some kind of defense there, but he was wide open. Let's just take a drop step and go all the way at it.
There's Turner. Ladinas, he is wide open as Lindquist can't get out to him, but he grabs the rebound. Now Murdoch to Phillips again. This time, a little bit more pressure. Still same result.
A little better effort there, though. That was one I think, you just, again, expecting some contact. Make the shot first. If the contact's there, then you get the foul.
Now here's Hillman. Can't get that one to go. Lindquist is able to get it to Reed. Now to Murdoch. He got 2-on-2. Phillips sets and fires. Air ball. All 3 attempts coming from him so far here in the first minute and 15 seconds.
Again, kind of how we started the game where, Crimson got good looks and just couldn't knock them down. And Granite Valley is Granite Bay is missing these, but Crimson not able to capitalize.
Now they slow it up with Hokinson. Unofficially, if you look at this, Ben, the scores for Granite Bay, it's all pretty spread out.
Yeah,
no one's
balanced.
in double figures. As Lindquist gets the mid-range contested jumper to go.
And again, those are his sweet spots. I think the more that you can get him looks in there when he can square his shoulders and elevate, especially after a rough shooting in the first half from the three-point line. Great defense there by Sands Reed, pulling the chair out. Crimson looking to attack now.
Lindquist, he'll fire for 3. That one's off the front of the iron. Just not going in for him as far as the three-point shot.
And that's just one where you got to take it to the hoop. That's where you've been effective as a team. Get to the hoop. Sometimes the 3 doesn't fall. And this time, again, going to that left hand, they're able to create something there. They're going to do some platoon hockey subbing here. Looks like 5 for 5.
Line change.
Coach maybe not happy with something he saw there defensively.
No, this is normal.
Oh, this is how they do it.
This is
okay.
Normal. Yeah. At least on Saturday it was normal.
Well, they played a lot of games. They got a couple more.
Tell you what, it's probably a good thing for your son that you're up here and not in the stands.
It's a good thing for my wife for sure. She gets tired of me trying to talk like I know what I'm talking
I'm just saying,
about.
you yelling in the stands probably is
not good. Not good.
Because you're not going to do that on a broadcast.
No. These refs are so good. The coaching is so good.
Yes.
The players,
everything. Everything is marshmallows and rainbows up here.
White puffy clouds.
Always good to have Ben here. You'll hear him on streams throughout the region season down in St. George.
Hopefully you and I and Devin Dixon will be calling one of those the state tournament this year.
We will be doing a state tournament game together. We're going to make it happen. Good old Devin Dixon. Shout out to him if he's watching. I doubt he is, though. Probably
He might be. He's probably golfing. That's right. If he's not watching, he's golfing.
Hokinson, guarded by Bromfield, who just checked in, part of that line change. Lindquist into Murdoch. They come to double.
And you can see that quick double from the weak side. Trav's just going to turn around because the double leaves, and that's a sweet spot for him as well. When he can square his shoulders, he's got such a soft touch.
He's in double figures now with 11. Again, unofficially. Now here is Pearson, the sophomore, goes into Miles Mike. Good defense there by Leroy. And now Lindquist skies up for the ball. He'll go into the paint. Looking back door. Nice pass there to Trey Leroy. And he gets it to go. He's active off the ball.
He, again, in that Dixie game, he was so active. He and Sands Reed really did a great job of getting deflections and being disruptive.
Now here's Headley. Pearson for three. The sophomore can hit it. Doesn't on that one as Murdoch grabs the rebound. Leroy back to Murdoch, puts it up and in. And the run continues here for Crimson Cliffs.
You know, basketball's so pretty when the ball doesn't touch the floor very often and it gets up the court. And somehow now this Crimson Cliffs team's not just up, but up by 5 now here early in the third quarter at the halfway mark.
Yeah, it was 34-32, Granite Bay with the lead, and they have 1 point on the board. And it's been Crimson Cliffs with 8, so 8-1 run here in the almost halfway point here in the third quarter, and what has really done that? What has led to this run?
I would say ball movement and no turnovers. You know, even though they missed some chippy shots there around the basket, the reality is they've gotten shots on every possession. And so if you can get 3 or 4 more shots, most of these teams shoot about 40 to 42% in high school from the field. And if you can get 4 more shots, you're talking 6, maybe 5, 6 points more because of the lack of the turnovers. And so I think that's going to be the continued thing is crisper passes, meet the ball. Don't just throw it up and expect the guy to get it. Make sure that the play's there. And maybe they'll jump out here in a little defense and try and create some disruption now out of the timeout. Expect a drawn play here out of the corner, probably to get the big man, 2-4 there, who had 7 in the first half. Hillman's like, just give me the ball.
Sometimes it's just as simple as that. Here's Turner on the elevator screen to Polic. Now over to Ladinas in the corner. Back to Turner with 18 on the shot clock. He'll back his way in as he has been all day.
Wow.
And he fades away and he hits it.
He's had a couple tough baskets, just, not giving up on the play.
And a lot of it is just his physicality when he's dribbling the basketball. Lindquist. Now here's Murdoch, guarded by Ladinas.
And Medinas is saying, where's the double team? I did my job. I was there on the baseline, but the top guy left, and he's going to go right down Broadway. As a coach, that's got to be the most frustrating thing, a transition layup out of a made basket.
This is why I'm 35 and have gray hair.
Exactly. Nothing more frustrating than that. You've made a basket. Point guard drives the length of the floor and lays it in.
Hokinson in the lane, good.
Another good jump shooter. Hokinson can make that shot. When he can get to his spots, too, and square his shoulders, he can knock that down.
Ladinas to Hillman. Turner powers his way in, gets the layup.
And
Turner getting it going here in the third quarter.
Explosive, that strength. And, again, I think if Granite Bay can go back to how they got it, which is they're just going pounding the dribble and getting right to the hoop.
Leroy. Now to Lindquist, guarded by Ladinas. Leroy, he'll go up. Great defense there by Hillman, walling up.
And Hillman, look at this. Head full of steam.
Polic for 3, gets that one to go. Ryan Polic.
And you got to know, Olic can shoot it. You can't give him. Polic is he's got the one in the first half. He's got the free throws. He is a shooter. Tie ball game now, Trev.
Yeah, we do. All knotted up with 2 minutes to go. Here in the third is Lindquist off the glass and in. Good move.
See,
there
and some
by the
nights
kid
when the
Lindquist.
three's not falling, like to me, if guys will let you go strong hand to about 6 feet and you can elevate, like just take that.
Lindquist now in double figures with 10. Hasn't hit a three-pointer, though, in which he's one of the top three-point shooters in 4A. I can get you that stat here in a minute, Ben.
I think he's got 23 on the season. Oh, boy. That's one where it's just a gift wrapped up here.
Murdoch. Leroy goes into Hillman.
Okay.
Good physical play there by Trey.
And I like to see that physicality, especially when you're playing against an out-of-state team that you haven't seen a lot of, and you can see, the athleticism that this Granite Bay team has. Sometimes you just got to take it right into the chest.
Lindquist on the year. According to Deseret News, he has 21 three-pointers,
Okay.
which is tied for 12th in 4A in threes made. It's crazy how many, 21 is pretty good in, how many games?
Let's see, 9?
12 games?
12 games. Oh, 12 games. Okay. Oh, yeah, 8 and 4.
Like 21, that's solid.
It's not bad. Yeah, you had a game where first game of the season you had 7.
But now you're looking at kids who have 43s.
I know.
Through 12 games.
I looked at that. It's crazy. Some great shooters here in the state. I mean, again, we go back to that conversation at the first of the game about how underrated the state of Utah is in terms of basketball. Football, I think they're finally getting that recognition with teams like Corner Canyon and teams like that who – Orem from 4 or 5 years ago.
You even see some of those out-of-state tournaments where teams are half of the state is going down to the Tarkanian.
Yeah,
and they're
Alta
showing
had a
well
big tournament
against California teams and Nevada teams and teams from around the country. As a great pass there from Reed to Phillips for the layup.
Speaking of three-pointers, the kid from Alta, I forget his last name, but he had 11 threes down there in that Tarkanian tournament.
Riser?
Yeah, no, and it wasn't Riser, actually.
Oh, was it Goodfellow?
I think so.
Kobe Goodfellow?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe Goodfellow's. You guys could watch Alta games all on the Rewind Sports Network.
But 11 threes, like my brother and I, Sean, he was a BYU player and an Alta Hawk as well, but he and I were talking. It's like back in the day, if a guy hits 5 threes, you don't let him shoot another one. He gets to 8 threes, you're trying to, take him out of the game. But you let a guy make 11 threes now. It's a different game now.
Here's Lindquist. About a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Trying to extend the lead. This is the biggest lead that they've had so far in this one. Trying to win their 9th game. Now off the glass.
See, and I like that. A lot of teams will try and get right down to the last 3 or 4 seconds, and as a result, they'll take a bad shot. Just take what the defense gives you, especially in the third quarter. End of game, different story. Third quarter, take the best shot.
4 seconds. Polich. And that will do it for the end of the third.
Whoa. Oh, my goodness. That almost went in.
Probably wouldn't have counted had it gone in, but still, that was close.
that might have won some Chick-fil-A at the halftime shootout.
Yeah, seriously. We'll go ahead and take a break. Crimson Cliffs holds a 52-44 lead. You're watching the Riverton Holiday Tournament on KSLSports.com. Welcome back to the Riverton Holiday Tournament. Trevor Allen, Ben Lindquist, and it was a 20-10 quarter in favor of Crimson Cliffs. How did they get there, Ben?
Well, we talked about it off air, and at the half we said, hey, they got to limit turnovers, and sure enough they did. No turnovers and no three-pointers. Everything was inside the paint and easy for Crimson that quarter. Look for Granite Bay to be a little more disruptive here and get back to that pound the dribble, get inside. Right out of the gate they're trying to do it.
Now here's
Crimson's going to try and do this little matchup zone a little bit and see if they can be disruptive as well.
Miles Mike with 9 seconds on the shot clock goes to Hillman in the high post. And he'll get it up, no good. Leroy tries to get the offensive board, tipped out. Sands Reed fights for it. And now he gets it out to Phillips.
Hitting the deck, Trev.
And Coach Murdoch wants a timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it right here just because we've only been going for 37 seconds here in the quarter.
Probably a quick 30-second. Trevor Allen, the hardest working man in Utah sports right here. If there's a game, this guy's probably doing it. Then he coaches. Probably played Santa as well. The guy was probably helped out the big fella in the red suit this last. Time out with them.
Yeah. apologies for the technical difficulties.
Granite Bay head coach
line.
probably tried to step on the thing, said, hey, we got to do something to stop this Crimson run. Let's just turn the camera off.
We don't want any film on these guys. No, we're good. All right, out of bounds.
And on cue, as we were giving them a little bit of credit, the turnover there for Crimson, the start of this fourth quarter.
Something to note here, Easton Back has eclipsed 100 points on the season.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, great hard-working guy.
He was
great
right
teammate.
on the fence.
And I think he's the best basket cutter on this team.
Headley gets that three.
And those are, you talk about the gray hair for a coach. That's another one of those ones. It's just, hey, if you're going to be a screen, you have to communicate. If your guy's setting the screens, we say Trey Leroy lay it up in transition. But if your guy's setting the screen, you got to communicate. You know, those switches, if you take the same guy, it's going to leave wide open shooters.
Trey Leroy as.
Ooh.
Oh,
and
okay.
I said it off air. I said this is one of the most well-officiated games I had, and I thought that looks like a jump ball, but I thought they were going to call a foul.
Well, the thing is, he closed his fist, which means it's usually a foul. Hand open means it's a violation.
Okay.
But now he changes his call back.
Yeah, the lead official came in there and said, "Oh no, let's call a foul." I actually thought that was a block, but we're only like 60 feet from the action.
Yeah, and that's the third foul on Phillips. But I'll tell you this: Trey Leroy, coming into the game on the season, 28 points total.
Yeah,
he has 12.
60? How many does he have now in this season? Oh, you don't have that. Okay.
No,
what does he have tonight?
12. So he had 28 coming into this game.
Oh, and he's got 40 now.
Yeah,
oh my
40
gosh, he's got 12
now
tonight.
on the whole season. 12 tonight.
Wow.
So a great game for Trey.
That's what I love about high school sports, though, is it's like, none of these guys are getting paid. They're all going to school. And, they play because they love it, maybe for a little attention from the cheerleaders. But a guy like that can come off the bench and be disruptive and do some good things, that's the cool thing.
And, again, he's sporting the different color shoes on each foot. As Murdoch goes down, blocked away by Miles Mike. Good defense there by Mike.
And somebody's got to stop ball. That's basketball 101. You can't wait till you're under the basket to try and stop it. You've got to stop ball. Another gray hair coach's moment.
Yep. There's moments where I've thought about shaving my head just because of that. Lindquist is at the scores table. That was a quick one.
And that's going to be 4 now on Britton Phillips.
It is.
6:08. Probably going to see him take a seat maybe till 3 minutes.
Yep. And Lindquist will come in for him.
And this will hopefully for Granite Bay cut it to 4. And with 2 minutes left, I don't think Crimson scored, and they've had some difficulties.
Had a strong third quarter, and it's been back and forth in the first half. It was mainly Granite Bay kind of just keeping them within striking distance. But it was the third quarter where Crimson really started to fight back and take a lead.
And they've been true to this full court press the entire game. They have bought pressure and double teams. Boy.
Murdoch, Back was there for a while, wide open. But it was hard to get it to him, so credit to the press. Leroy goes into the paint. Murdoch over Pulich. Can't get that one to go either.
Again, the refs have been consistent. Well, every time I start to give them a little bit of credit, they make the parents.
The broadcaster's jinx is in full effect here in this one.
I got about 8 parents below us. They're like, I don't agree with him right now. That's a horrible call. But I do think they've been consistent.
Yeah, they have
and that's
been.
all you really need in a game is just call it the same. Don't confuse the players and the coaches.
Well, and another thing, like in our first game, parents were yelling out foul count and all things like that. I'm like, you can't really go off a foul count because one team could be more physical than the other. So you can't really go off a foul count. But I am with you as far as having the same consistency.
Yeah, consistency is key in this type of game, especially where it's, an out-of-state team trying to fill out an in-state program. You got to just make sure that the refs don't become the story.
Well,
and I think
normally,
they're going to.
normally whenever you are, officiating games, especially in the state, you kind of have an idea of what each team does.
Yeah,
Like their style of
American
play.
Fork's going to play this way, or Westlake's going to play that way.
You have no idea when you have an out-of-state team. And so a lot of that is like a filling out period in the first quarter or so. Like
they've been good though on those,
a little
on
more
the
physical.
charge plays, on the contested layup plays, and they throw it off at Leroy's back. I might have tried that a few times back in the day.
Headley goes up with it and in. Good cut on the backside there by Wyatt Headley.
And just like that, it's a 2-point ball game now for this Granite Bay visiting team.
Lindquist. He's just gone away from shooting three-pointers now. Contested, hits that one, gets the bucket and the foul.
The old
so why not go mid-range?
I think go to the ground game. It's like Batman. You got to get in the tumbler sometimes and just go down Gotham Street.
Sometimes you just got to get your hands dirty. You just got to, go to work. Bring your lunch pail.
Exactly. Because, look, the shot's not always going to fall. How else can you impact the game? Can you do it on the defensive end? Can you do it rebounding? Sometimes you just don't shoot it well, whatever it is. Long bus ride. No excuses, though. You got to impact the game.
Did they come up today?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's a three by Brody Pearson. So a long bus ride. It's usually, 5-hour drive?
Yeah, what do those buses go? 62 miles an hour?
If that.
Probably 4.5, 5.
And so having to sit on a bus and then come in and play a basketball game. As there's a timeout, it's a 30-second. We'll keep it right here. And
that's why I'd always carry hand warmers when we'd go play Washington State out in the Palouse, ice cold. Wasn't like going and playing in Tucson and Phoenix at Arizona State. We'd go play Washington State, and I'd get the little hand warmers, and I'd keep the mitts warm, man. Yeah. Shooters got to have warm hands.
Yep. Absolutely. And even though it's been St. George type weather up here lately,
driving up here and not seeing snow on the ground kind of threw me off.
I honestly don't. How warm has it been down by you guys?
Mid-60s, maybe even 70 last week. We had a couple days of rain, but for the most part, it's just been like April weather.
We're almost the same temperature up here as opposed to St. George. That's wild. Lindquist breaking the press, picks up his dribble. Now here's Murdoch.
That'll leave gray hair on a dad. Don't pick your dribble up at half court.
You always want all your kids to dribble the way Steve Nash did. As Murdoch, great pass there from Lindquist. Murdoch with his first bucket of the quarter. Turner goes right to Murdoch, and he gets the floater.
To me, that's just way too easy. You got to slow the ball down, not at half court, but earlier.
Lindquist. Now here's back. Easton. So Leroy, and he's just in the right place at the right time, it seems like today.
If we had the sub of the game, it would be hard not to give it to those two combined. Just they've been so impactful.
But Turner coming back the other way and getting the same thing again. They're just like, give me the ball and I'll get to the rim.
The gray hair coaches going, just stop the ball on a made basket, please.
And it's funny, as like a broadcaster, as there's a still right here, as Turner's going to get potentially a layup and it's ripped free, his back will be called for a foul. But something I do, and I don't know about you, but whenever I'm calling a game, whenever I see something happen, I immediately turn to the coach.
Right.
As they're coming back the other way, just to see his reaction. And Coach Murdoch has kind of kept his cool for the most part. I mean, that's looking, just looking at him. I mean, deep down, he's probably beside himself.
Well, I think any good coach, I've coached a couple of years, once at Pineview and once at Crimson as well, years ago when they first opened. And what I always tried to think about was, okay, is what I'm saying right now going to really make a difference on what's next? And if it is, then good. You offer some suggestion. But if it's about what, like most of the times when a kid dribbles it off his foot or airballs a three or misses an assignment on defense, most of the time they know, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, look, you can cover that in a film study. You can cover that other way. But if you can impact the game, that's when a really good coach shows their form. And just like that, Trev, we got a tie game with 3:24. And I would say momentum, I don't know about you, it feels like it's more Granite Bay than it is Crimson right now.
It's only been 9 points scored here for Crimson.
No.
As there's a timeout called.
The best thing you can do if you're a pressing team is get the other team to call a timeout.
Second best thing. The best one's to get a 5-second call.
That's okay. All right. That's exactly right.
30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. And, Ben, so far it's been 9 points scored here for Crimson.
Kind of a flip-flop of that third quarter now for this Granite Bay team.
17 points for Granite Bay.
Yeah, I think –
and a lot of it's from Turner.
Yeah, they've started to have a couple of turnovers. Those 2 wide-open threes, that didn't help. But I think right now, if you look at the energy, I think Granite Bay right now just has a little more, maybe a little more energy, but also just a little more fire. And Coach Murdoch, maybe he's cracking a joke. I thought for a second he was like, hang on a second.
He doesn't look happy about it, but the official is laughing. So it is a joke for the official. Now here's Lindquist, one-on-one. Billetier on his hip. And now he backs it back out, and an official tumbles.
Oh, boy.
And he gets back up, and he's fine. Safe.
That's why you got 3 of them now.
Now Murdoch. Leroy tries to get it to him. And now they call him out of bounds on the baseline with 3:03 to go. Ben, we got a good one here.
It's going to be a tight finish here, but again, the turnovers here down the stretch going to favor this Granite Bay team because they're the aggressor.
There's Camden Wright. Miles Mike.
I do like the idea it looks like they're going to match up in a man now as opposed to the zone matchup there. Unless that's the matchup, though. Wow.
Solomon Hillman powers his way in and gets the bucket. He's up to 9 points. Lindquist. There was some contact there, but let him play on. I mean, everyone's being physical right now. Just play on. I like it. Bring the physicality.
Yeah, I think, again, this is where they've been really consistent. If you're not completely under control, they're not going to give you the call, and they've been that way all game. I was a 1-foot jumper, but I like the idea of when you're most out of control, always think, can I get to a 2-foot jump stop? He had the advantage. He had the guy in his hip, but luckily they were able to get, another turnover here.
Phillips couldn't quite control it. Lindquist was running out of time, and Coach Murdoch only has 2 more timeouts with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go here in this one.
Oh, a whistle. We got a whistle down on the ground, and
I think that was the official who tumbled.
He's like, where did my whistle go?
Yeah, he's like,
that was right there on the court.
Reach it down there to try and blow the whistle.
That's like a cop when they lose their gun on duty. Nobody, he's going to hear about that all after the game.
Especially when you're reaching down trying to find your whistle, and you're like, wait, where'd it go? As you're trying to make a call. Camden Wright against Murdoch. He'll go to Headley. 18 seconds on the shot clock, still plenty of time. Here's Turner. He has made a living in the paint, and he does the same thing. Especially here in this fourth quarter.
They've not called that a foul offensively, so you have to just be able to take it.
Here's Reed on the wing, air ball. They let that one go out of bounds. It'll be Granite Bay basketball.
And again, they're more aggressive right now. If they've sped up this Crimson team to the point that they're feeling like, I got to do a home run right here in order to get back in the game. The reality is you're down 4. Just work the clock. Extra pass. Come to a jump stop. And now out of a dead ball, they nearly get another layup.
As Turner has taken over here in this fourth quarter for Granite Bay, number 10. Now here's Hillman. go to Miles Mike. They're taking their sweet time, and as they should. Here's Turner, fade back, and it rolls out. Phillips on the board.
And now this is where you have number. You can avoid.
Lindquist from deep, in and out, and tipped out. Murdoch goes into the paint. He'll lay it up, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2, but kind of a crazy play where Turner goes down there, barely doesn't get that one to go, and then on that end, Lindquist in and out 3.
Yeah, like we said, sometimes they just don't go in. And, the other night, though, he struggled a little bit against Pineview, and they spent most of the game face guarding him and then hit a big one down the stretch to help kind of secure that victory. But, the nice thing right now, Murdoch should knock down this other one. That'll be a 2-point ball game, just over a minute left. Maybe mix up the defenses a little bit. But down here, you just got to take your time. Even though there's only a minute left, this Granite Bay defense is so aggressive. It's kind of that art of war philosophy. Use it against them. Make them, get out of position and get a wide open layup, not a forced shot.
Murdoch 2 for 2 on that trip to the foul line. Now here's Camden Wright, and coach wants a timeout. And
smart timeout there, I think, to just make sure that you
full
go over
timeout,
with
but
your
we'll
team.
go and keep it here.
Yeah, go over with your team and say, okay, look, there's a minute left. We're up 2. Here's what we're trying to do. In the event that we miss a shot and we go back, we don't want to give up a 3 that can, they can take the lead. Let's not foul. Just continue to play our style of basketball. But right now, I got to believe they're going to drop one of their little curl action plays, try and get something going at the hoop for either Hillman or Turner maybe, and use something inside with the size and the physicality here. And if you're Crimson, maybe you're throwing up a little defense. Maybe you're throwing up a zone now, or maybe you're bringing a trap of some kind to try and be disruptive to what they're drawing up.
Now, just to look at the situation, Granite Bay has a 2-point lead, and Granite Bay has 2 timeouts remaining. They have 2 team fouls, so they're good as far as potentially
they can be a little more aggressive too down here. They can pick up the 3rd and the 4th.
And then Crimson Cliffs down 2. They have 4 team fouls, so next one will then put Granite Bay at the foul line, and they still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, and Granite Bay shot it really well from the line tonight. So that might be a little bit tricky depending on who gets sent to the line. But, I think the nice thing here, this is what I love about the shot clock, Trevor, is it used to be you could run 4 quarters for the last 2 minutes of a high school basketball game if you had good ball handling and smart players. Now, like a minute left, we get an exciting finish.
Yeah. And, every team's going to get at least one more possession.
Right.
Now here's Turner.
Turner saying, clear out, let me go to work. I think you force him. Oh, wow.
And Murdoch takes it away from him. Turner hits the deck. And we're tied up at 65 all.
They've called the game consistent. I'll say that.
Now here's Wright. He'll go into the paint. He's fouled.
With the exception of that.
I felt like he was up. He was straight up, but the problem was he was coming into him as he was driving in. So I would actually agree with that call, but that's also his 5th foul.
Well, and here's the thing. This will help any young player. He's a lefty, right? Wright is a lefty. As strange as that sounds. Wright with a W is a lefty.
Yes.
So he's going left the whole way up the court. Make a player go to their offhand where they're less comfortable.
And then shift your angle.
Make them shift them. Yeah, shift your angles off of that basket, that pizza slice, as I used to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you're Trey, you go over and you say, "Oh no, ref, I got him," before he can call the foul on the 5th foul on Britton.
Wright is actually a righty. At least on that free throw.
Man, he's gone left hard.
But
we haven't seen him shoot
with the left hand.
Yeah, he's gone left.
That means
a lot of guys
he's confident in both hands, and at the high school level, that's hard to come by. As Turner gets the offensive board, and coach wants a timeout.
Wow. Well,
Coach Jason Sitterud.
That's about the worst thing that can happen for a coach right there is off of a free throw to give up the offensive rebound. And Turner, it's Turner again. He, to me, if you said, hey, what's the big difference in the second half, I'd say the aggressiveness and athleticism and finishing at the hoop with Turner.
And also, like, key plays down the stretch. Like, obviously turning it over here where Murdoch was able to get a layup to tie the game.
Yeah.
But then on the other end, you're getting an offensive rebound on a free throw when you're only up 1.
those are the type of plays that as a coach, you talk about the gray hair, that's the one that makes you feel like you can coach forever, is when you get that kind of effort from a young man. But 5 team fouls now for Crimson. They're going to obviously look to try and make a quick steal here, trap of some kind, especially where the baseline's out of bounds. Get that quick foul. Worst case scenario, knock on wood, is Granite Bay knocks down 2 free throws, and with 34 seconds or 30-ish seconds, you go down and you have a chance to tie the game.
So to trigger the inbound is Miles Mike. They've got 2 guys at each elbow for Granite Bay. 1 timeout remaining for the Grizzlies. Still 2 timeouts remaining for Coach Murdoch and the Mustangs. Mike. And Murdoch takes it away. 2 key defensive plays there for Travis. And then Turner takes it right back. And he's going to lay it up and in. But still a 3-point ball game.
3-point ball game. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to just go for the quick 2.
Easton
They are.
Back,
I like that play.
It in, and Coach wants a timeout.
Now, I like that play because a lot of guys will come down and feel like they have to jack up a 3. That's a smart, heady play there by Back. Go down 16 seconds. Put the pressure back on Granite Bay to knock down a free throw. But how about the finish here? We've seen 2 kind of mid-court steals for uncontested layups to take the lead.
Well, and I'll ask you this, Ben, because, you know, some people could go this way, and I want to get your thoughts on it. When Turner got that steal, shot clock's turned off.
Right.
Were you kind of surprised that he went in for that layup?
I mean, I think
or would you tell him to pull it out and shoot some time off the clock and just try and win it at the foul line?
I know. That's such a hard one, and you know, it's almost a guessing game. But I like the idea of taking the guaranteed 2 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you're going to the foul line, and maybe you chew off 5 more seconds. But credit, I like the Crimson response, which was, okay, cool. We're down 3 now. They come down here. I've seen it all year. Teams will come down and just feel like, oh, I got to shoot the 3. And I like that. Go all the way to the cup, take the shot. You're only now 17 seconds on the clock. It's a 1-point ball game. Maybe you get the steal. They're in a different position because they have 5 team fouls. So what's interesting is if they're able to get a stop and they're able to take the lead, Granite Bay's only got 2 team fouls. If that happened for some, you know, miraculous way. But expect a trap here, a quick trap. I don't think they're going to let more than 2 or 3 seconds get off the clock before we get a hard foul. Send them to the line to try and extend it to 3 points.
They added 0.6 on the clock to make it the Nema's 17, and Easton Back will foul Wright, who went 1 for 2 on his last trip to the free throw line.
And that's got to be, you know, in his head a little bit.
It's all about the mindset now. It's all about the confidence to being able to go up, step to the line again.
And they're going to pull everybody off. I don't know. I'd send Turner down there and say, Turner, will you just, if he misses
Turner
by chance,
and Hillman, both of them are
will you just get us another rebound?
Yeah, go grab us another offensive rebound. Right, connects on the first one.
Okay. So this will be interesting to see how they play this, Granite Bay. You know, will they foul, which you don't see very often, but it is a strategy for some people, and eliminate the chance for a 3-point try. And they're pointing to the clock because they're going to make a substitution here. Looks like they're going to go some speed for size.
Speed and shooting, probably. Although Hillman hit a 3 earlier.
Yep.
Hillman can hit them. Here's Lindquist. He's one of the top shooters in the state. Guarded by Mike. He'll stop and pop for 3.
And
maybe a little contact there.
Well, this is the hard part. As you look at the ref, he watched the ball after it left his hand. Yeah, that's the hard part. You got to watch the shooter's shot.
You're always taught, and I did it for 5 years. Don't ball watch.
Yeah, it's hard though.
It is hard because you want to see if it goes in. You're also a fan of the game as well.
Interestingly enough here, I mean, this is the hard thing with the double bonus, but if somehow there's enough time that you could get at least another 3 off if he's to go to the line and miss 2. But I think this is pretty much a formality now at this point. Ooh, he tried to give us a little.
He ices it there. 3.7 left on the clock. 1 timeout for each team. But unless you can draw up a 4-point play, or a 5-point play now.
Oh, my goodness.
And Easton Back wasn't ready for that, and that'll do it. Final score, Granite Bay coming over from Sacramento, California, picks up a 72-67 win over the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. And, Ben, that is a really good Granite Bay team, but also probably Crimson probably didn't play their brand of basketball for at least 2 quarters of the game.
And you can't play 50% of the game and expect to beat an athletic, well-coached team as well, by the way. Great offensive movements, great high-pressure pressing and trapping defense for Granite Bay. But at the end of the day, it just came down to turnovers and not being able to secure that one offensive rebound there was kind of the difference in the game. They had their chances, my goodness. They got that steal to get it to 1, and then they actually got another chance and a couple of just untimely turnovers. They went that whole third quarter without a turnover, and just that fourth quarter, it just kind of crept back in.
So Granite Bay will they start out their Region 9 tour with a win, and they improved to 6-6 on the year. They will take on Pineview tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to watch at 1:45.
That one will be at 1:45. David James will have that one for you right here on KSLSports.com. And then for Crimson, they dropped to 8-5 on the year. Their 4-game winning streak comes to an end, but they will take on Timpanogos. It's part of the Riverton Holiday Tournament, but it's at Juan Diego, so we won't have that game for you. I wish we could.
I'll be there wishing I was talking to you, Trev. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Ben, it's always a pleasure. Hey, next time I will see you is up at Weber State.
I love it. Hey, if you need to get out of I guess there isn't any snow, but if it ends up ever snowing up here and you need to get down, call a game, you know where to find us.
I will definitely do that. For Ben Lindquist, Zach Gertzen on the camera, I'm Trevor Allen. Wishing you all a good afternoon. Coming up next, Snow Canyon will take on Mountain View. David James will have that one at 5:15 right here on KSLSports.com.